welcome some great shows to Ledge Amphitheater this year. John Mulaney.
Hold on. If you call me, you may finish my lunch.
Hang on.
All right, start over from the top.
The Fan welcomes some great shows to Ledge Amphitheater this year. John Mulaney.
And she's buying the stairway to heaven.
August 22nd, Blues Traveler.
Sweet home Alabama.
And Gin Blossoms.
Keeps me searching for a heart of gold.
They'll be there September 12th. You can get complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
I'm getting ripped.
No.
Yeah, again, people. I was telling Greg Swedberg earlier today, I can't help it that I'm right 99% of the time. Sometimes I am wrong. It's rare. What is there a greater chance? Common Man being wrong, or you predicting every single result in the men's NCAA March Madness? It's a better chance you're going to pick all the games right than Common being wrong. Let's go ahead and go to the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. This one says, equity? The Wild haven't won a playoff series in 10 years. The Wolves have made the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. Common is speaking out of both sides of his mouth. There's another that says basically the same thing. It says, where did it go? Whoops. Sorry about that. It says, dang it. The Wild should hope and pray to get Wolvesitis and go back to the Western Conference Finals. There's an old saying that I just made up. What have you done for me lately? You know, the Vikings were in the NFC Championship game back in 2017. And you know what? Even though we lost, we weren't quite that far out of that game as people might think. All we needed was a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and an onside kick. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and an onside kick. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and an onside kick. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion. And you can play that game all you want. I'm talking about the team that's playing right now. It doesn't matter what happened last year. It's meaningless. Last year means nothing. You can say, I mean, if you want to take it to the extreme, well, last game doesn't mean anything. And you're right. Kevin Gorg and I text and talk more than most people know. Deuce looked up power trip bets to see, they do every time there's a major, and they have decided, and if the power trip morning show says the players is a major, then it's a major. So they do
Power
this.
Trip morning show.
Yeah. So what the power trip does. So the power trip, they have their cast of characters all select a player, right?
Yes.
And if the player you select wins, do you get this at like $200?
So yeah, if they win, it's $200 from each person. Yeah. And if they're the highest out of the selected field, I think they get $100 for everybody. Okay. Yeah.
So yesterday, Kevin Gorg won $200, from what I understand.
From each person.
From each person, yeah, from each person. And do we know how many people?
I could do the math, but it's usually around like 1,500 you get. It's not a bad gig. Yeah.
It's a nice little payday.
Mm-hmm.
Sauce was riding high.
Oh.
He took Ludwig, I just call him Luddy Oberg, and Luddy rinsed a couple on 11 and 12, and there went his chances. They sunk to the bottom of the pond. And Gorg won it. And so we text and talk more than most people know, and I don't think Gorg would mind if I kind of recanted our conversation that we were having during the event.
By the way, he won $2,200.
$2,200.
Yeah. There's 11 people in it, 200 each.
Now, yeah. I try to explain this to people. That's $2,200. before taxes. After taxes, that's $1,800. Then you got to buy a house. You got to fill your tank up with gas. You got to buy groceries. You save. You invest. Flaunt. Can he make that last? So, I send him a text at 3:41 yesterday afternoon. Let's go Young, with exclamation marks, because I know he's got Young. He goes, Fitzpatrick ain't losing from here, me boy. Completely dialed in, major winner, too much class. Well, at 4:01, as Young is making a charge, I go, you were saying? He says, Fitzpatrick hasn't even sniffed making a bogey all day. Game on. This course always deliver. Then that was at 4:03. Then at 4:14, he texts Fitzpatrick, too classy. I text back Young, too gutty. I'll take somebody that, when it comes to sports, particularly golf and high pressure situation, I'll take the guy that's gutty rather than the guy that's classy. Then he texts back, that was some kind of birdie. He says, needs to do what Xander did, 4-iron, put the driver in the water yesterday. Then he says, Cam is growing up right before our very eyes, and it doesn't hurt to have the crowd with him either. Then he says, then I go, you doubted him. I send him that. Then he says, Ryder Cup vibes. I have so much respect for Fitzpatrick. Cam is great, but this is uncharted waters for him. Then I gave him,
doubts his own guy a lot.
Well, then I gave him the common man logic. And it says, like I've always said, just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you can't do it. In other words, Young has won one event. He's finished runner-up 7 times. He's never won a major. Fitzpatrick's won a major. He won a U.S. Open before. So the more experienced player, the more successful player overall, right? But just because somebody hasn't done anything, Young, sealing the deal on a, again, it's not a major, but it's the closest thing to it. I said, look at Bridgman. Hits it onto the beach at the AT&T, then wins the next week. So just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't do it. And then he writes back, you're a great golfing mind. That cannot be argued. And he's right. I do have a great, of all the things we texted back and forth about, the one thing that cannot be denied would be that I'm a great golfing mind. And so, again, Young, and Fitzpatrick didn't show any signs of slowing down, but Young kept making clutch putt after clutch putt and making big shots. And you saw what happened on 17. Fitzpatrick, whether he was trying to play it safe or not, I don't know if we'll ever know. I don't know if he was asked, because he hit it to the middle of that green. If you put it in the water there, it's over. You're donezo, right? The tournament's over. So he gets it on the green. Young being a stroke down. And it's easier when you're a stroke down to say, well, what I got to lose, right? I may as well get aggressive. And he did get aggressive, and he hit it at 9 feet. But then he had to make the 9-footer too. He needed to make it, and he did. He buried it. And as he said, that's as a nerve-wracking position as you're going to be in, because, I don't know if there was as many people surrounding that green and that hole as there are on Waste Management 16, the party hole. And at Waste Management, they're right on top of you, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a different vibe, right? And Waste Management's a nice tourney to win, but it ain't the Players, right? But with all that pressure, he buried that, and then he went on and he said, I'm going to hit the best shot of my life, and he did. And the day before, he'd hit it in the water off the tee. This time, it's kind of one of those kind of Bay Hill type holes where the water's all along the left side. We saw plenty of people hit the water there, including Young on Saturday. But he rose to the occasion. Now, why did we start talking golf again when we were talking about
golf bets?
Oh,
Kevin
yeah.
Gorg.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Which, by the way, Kevin Gorg saying, we're watching Cam Young grow up right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
It's not exactly.
Well, I think he meant as a player.
Yeah.
That's what he meant. But and again, he could have lost. And maybe one of those guys that's never able to rise to the occasion. Because it happens. Look at that's why I use Bridgman as an example. Were you watching the AT&T Pebble Beach? Did you watch it?
I believe I was.
Final round.
Yeah.
Morikawa ends up winning. He's in the middle of the fairway. Him and two other guys are waiting to finish. They got a golf cart parked in front of the green because Bridgman's down on the ocean floor. He's got his scuba gear on because he might have to go into the water. He doesn't know what to do. He sits down there for 13, 14 minutes trying to figure things out. He hits the ball. It hits the rock wall, right? The wall that keeps the golf course from tumbling into the Atlantic, and he has to go up and take a drop. It took him like 45 minutes to play the last hole. Meanwhile, Morikawa waiting to hit one of the more important shots, certainly of this season. He's won a couple of majors, so this doesn't have quite as much import. Other than that was then, this is now. And then Morikawa ended up winning, but Bridgman hits it. And then the next week he goes and wins at Riviera. So because you have failed in the past doesn't mean, I know how this all started. I'm talking about right now with the Wild right now is one of the best teams in hockey. The Wolves right now are one of the most underachieving teams in all of basketball. After you've gone, they were the ones that told us we want to take it to the next step. It's the old Houston Oilers. I've played the soundbite hundreds of times. Bum Phillips last year, we got to the door. This year we knocked on it. Next year we're going to kick it in. The Wolves have promised to kick that door in. And they still could do it. They could. But I don't like what I see. And again, yesterday was another lousy game. Ant turned the ball. Now, Ant had some points. I guess he was playing hurt, but he turned the ball over like 6 times. SGA doesn't turn the ball over 6 times. He just doesn't. Randall finally played like, he's capable of. Look, I love him. And far be it from me to try to withhold money from a guy. That's the first time he's earned his money in, 2 months maybe? Has it been that long since he's really had? It was before the All-Star break. He's had a game. And if you remember last year, he carried this team in the last, dozen games, 20 games, after the All-Star break. He carried the club. He was the best. He was one of the best players in the league over that period of time. They need him to continue to play like this. Gobert and McDaniels they were negatives. When they do, you have a plus negative. They were negatives, and they were double-digit negatives, I think. They just were not. And again, that's why I don't know if they can just turn it on and off like a switch. You hope they can, and I suppose it's possible. But now they've gone from at one point it seems like one day they're the 3rd seed, the next day they're the 6th. And right now they're at 6. But they're barely ahead of Phoenix, who's in the 7th spot, and they play this week, I believe. Is that their next game?
Could be.
I think they played the Phoenix Suns.
Yes, tomorrow at 7.
Tomorrow at Target.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should do the show from the cage. It's a big one.
Think about it.
It's a big one. So, in knowing the Wolves, well, this thing, John Hines probably needs to talk. That winning is not inevitable, folks. But for instance, when the Wild lost 2, and then they beat the Clips, right? After losing, I think it was 3 in a row. So now against Phoenix at home, my guess is they'll rise to the occasion and look like a real playoff contending team and put Phoenix back in their place. And all will be forgotten. All will be right with the world if the Wolves, whether it's in a play-in game at 7-10 or a 6 seed or a 3 seed, and they advance to the Western Conference Finals again and hopefully get to the NBA Finals, all this disrespectful basketball that you've disrespected the game and the fans and everybody else will all be forgotten, that's for sure. We'll pause. We'll return with a little Dis Dat Lat coming up next here on The Fan. Oh,
Dylan
Duet next. Oh, I'm telling you.
You haven't missed a step.
And you know what? I'm as happy as this has been. You try to find out when you get into a funk. I've been in a funk. I've been in a Freddie funk for like 2 years, and I haven't been able to put my finger on it. What is it? And it's...
What's missing?
It is Dylan duets, particularly to operators. My favorite one to do by far. Did you like it? Seriously, did you? That was good, wasn't it?
507 guy, this is what peak radio sounds like. Common killed that Dylan duet.
Yes, it's peak radio. It's lean-in radio.
612 guy, was there ever a doubt it wasn't going to be Operator?
No, well, it had to be. It had to be. I mean, there's a lot of other... Sausalito Summer Nights. Can you find Sausalito Summer Nights in there?
I don't even...
That's where we do
Oh, yeah.
That's where we do the 10-day weather forecast. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. Hang on. Wow.
Oh, man. There we go. So,
952 guy, that's like beating Kobe Bryant's record when you pretend to be Bob Dylan.
It is. It is.
Think about it.
This one says, Jim Croce, Bob Dylan, same thing. Well, sort of, kind of. Yeah, I mean... Except Bob's still alive and Jim is not. Jim died in a plane crash. And his son now is a musician, and he tours doing he does some of his originals and a lot of his dad's stuff too. Really sad, I mean, because I think his son never really got to, I think he was probably, I don't know if he was an ink fink, but I can't believe he was more than 2-3 years old when he never got to know his pa, you know?
I want to read one more text.
Okay.
612 guy says, I'm swooning over the Dylan duet. Is real bumper music back? No, it's not.
No.
Oh, no. Did I miss Thunder Island weather report?
Yeah.
You got to be here live if we're going to do it.
We did Thunder Island, yeah.
You got to be here live.
Now, and I asked you a question earlier. I said, if you were the regular producer, would you be willing to do it? You said, well, I'd probably do it for a couple of songs. What if it was you can have the job, but you have to replace every song? That would be 18 of them because we bump in and bump out. Well, no, you wouldn't have to do it at the very beginning of the show. But so you'd have to do it a lot. For a full-time job, would you do say, not going to work, I'll continue to be...
Does it come with all the endorsements that tend to be...
Well,
that'd be nice.
If you can, if you're able to move product, it's all about you being able to move product.
I'm interested.
I thought you would be. So there we go. Okay, there's another basketball team in town that's not getting as much attention as I think they should. We're talking about the Minnesota women's Golden Gopher basketball team. They're in the women's version of March Madness. Some really Dawn Plitzowite, did I say it correct?
I believe so.
Plitzowite. She had some very interesting things to say. I saw them in a story in the Fish Wrap West and East. We'll take a look at a couple of those quotes. This is what you want to hear from a coach. And we'll do that next. Comment and Program on the Fan.
I'm going to get one, and the countdown is on for College Hoops Chaos. It's almost here. You can catch all the action starting Thursday on 96.7 KFAN Plus and on the free iHeartRadio app. It's driven by Dave Smith Motors.
Couple 13-14 past. Larry Manila guy says, so this entire 215 segment will be unlicensed bumper music under common teasing Gopher women's basketball talk. There just won't
That's correct.
There just won't be a 215 segment. It'll go right from 2 o'clock to 2:30 because we can't air anything that has music. So, yeah, on the podcast, that is. So that's just the way she goes. You know what? People just go, man, that seemed quick today. The Common Man's program was so good. It just time was flying because we were all having fun. Another person writes, driving in my car during Dylan Duet, my wife says, what am I listening to? This is torture. It's music to many other people's ears is what it is. So. Minnesota Golden Gopher women's basketball team had a really good season. Lindsay Whalen had been the coach for a couple of years, a legendary name in Golden Gopher basketball and Minnesota Lynx lore, right? Was she a part of all 4 Lynx World Championships? She was, right? I think she was part of all of them. I don't believe that the Gophers, when she played for them, won a natty, but they obviously got to the tournament. I don't remember what their best finish was. Maybe they got to a Final Four. I don't recall because it's been a number of years ago. But so Lindsay was the coach for a while. Not much traction was gained under her. And then they hired Dawn, and I think I can get it right, Plitzowite, I think is her name. And this is her, do you know how many years this has been? Is this third or
two or
fourth,
three.
Two or three. I think it's 2 or 3. You're right. And she's done a really good job at the club. They are a 4 seed. They get 2 home games over at Williams Arena. March 2023. That's what it says here. She got the job. Plitzowite created program pillars after being hired as the Gopher women's coach in March 2023. Says here the Gophers are returning to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2018. They enter the tournament 22-8 overall, 13-5 in the Big Ten, relying on a balanced lineup and a style of play that reflects their head coach's personality and upbringing. The Gophers are tough. She was brought up on a farm. The Gophers are tough, unselfish, smart, and fiercely competitive. It's as if Plitzowite is staring into a mirror as she watches it all come together from the sideline. I like this piece of the story. It says, as a high school freshman, Plitzowite tripped in a game and landed on her face. Her braces pierced her bottom lip. Back in the locker room, her coach and parents decided she needed to go to the emergency room. Plitzowite asked if one of them could just rip her lip loose because she had a game to finish. What's an eye when you've given your heart? What's a lip when you've got a lot of drip, right? She's tough. And her team seems to be following in they have her personality, I guess, is what they have. And what I noticed was, and I don't know if it was this story, because there have been a number of stories I've been reading about the club, is that they spread the scoring. It's not like they have one dominant player that's scoring 20, 25 points a game. Everybody seems to contribute. It's somebody else stepping up. We talked about that earlier, about teams that if you are too dependent on one or two players, and those one or two players either have an off night, if the other team has decided we're going to take them out of the game, we're going to deny them the ball, or an injury, then if the rest of the team is not used to sharing the load of creating offense or defense or special teams, whatever it is, it can be very difficult to recover from. And the quote I saw, and I actually highlighted this one and sent it to myself, this is what I really like. It's a quote from Plitzowite. It says, defense is hard work. You have to really want to defend. You have to really love to defend. And it's what I have believed forever. And I didn't need Dawn to reinforce that, but it's nice to see it coming from a coach, a local coach, a successful coach that knows that is how the game is played. That has been the problem with the Wolves. The reason the Wolves went to Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row mostly was because of their defensive acumen. Really hard-nosed. That's why Conley traded for Rudy Gobert. Not a one-time, two-time, three-time, but a four-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, because defense does win. It's true. How many times do you have to hear me say cliches are cliches for a reason? Because generally speaking, they're true. And when the Wolves lose, it's generally 9 out of 10 times because their defense is lacking. And defense is mostly what? I'm just telling you, it's effort. It's like Don says. Where did that quote go? Defense is hard work. You have to really want to defend. You have to really love to defend. I don't think most people that play basketball like to play defense, except the ones that know that is the way they stay in the game. I used to tell baby brother Peter, I used to say, if you can play defense, the coach will find a place on the floor for you. And that's just a fact. Because you need to be able to, this is a novel concept. If you score more points than the other team, you'll win the game. Every time. 100% of the time if you score more points. You can use that anytime you want, next time you're on.
Thank you.
Worst case scenario. If you score more points than the other team, you will win the game. And you can try to win it in a shootout, I guess. Let's just go up and let's play NBA All-Star Game basketball, the way the All-Star Game used to be until last year. They did some different things where they get the guys to play defense for 12 minutes. And then remember when the commissioner actually had to say, I just want to thank all, the team that won. I just want to thank you guys for deciding to try to play. He actually tried to play. You have to thank them for doing what they're supposed to do, play hard. I want to thank you for trying hard today. Maybe the most embarrassing moment in NBA history was right there, before your very eyes, when the commissioner of the league, in presenting a meaningless trophy, had to say, I want to thank you guys for trying tonight. Think about that. Just try to wrap your arms around that. You have to thank them for it. It's like thanking your kid for busting his own table. Hey, thanks for putting your dishes over by the sink. Now, maybe next time you can scrape off the remnants into the garbage can, too, and maybe even rinse them. They're like children. I had to thank them for trying hard. And I'm sure they just laughed. They just thought it was funny. Hey, well, we only had to try hard for 12 minutes. Game was only 12 minutes long. That wasn't that hard. Barely broke a sweat. The other way, and it's hard to outscore the other team if you're just going up and down the floor. Somebody's got to be red hot. And the other team has to decide they don't want to play defense. Because I guarantee you, if you have two teams going back and forth shooting, the team that plays defense the hardest is going to win. I'm willing to say 99% of the time, maybe even 100. And there's always the time where you just, the other team, your mama can't stop them. Your daddy can't stop them. The police can't stop them. Don Plitzawhite can't stop them. Nobody can stop them. Right? But most of the time, if you just say, can I use another example? I don't like to use myself as an example or a comparison.
I always love that one.
Or an analogy. But this goes, and I brought these up before when young Ryan Lefevre, former Minnesota Golden Gopher basketball player, former Minnesota Golden Gopher baseball play-by-play guy in the Fan, who's now risen to heights. He should be in the Minnesota Broadcasters Hall of Fame. He'll get there, and he's deserving of it. He's now the voice of the Kansas City Royals, play-by-play for television, okay? And he had connections because he was at the U. There's a Catholic church at the university. He'd get the gym for us. We'd have open gym. You remember the Culture Vulture, Jeff Dubé, right? Pretty good player. Dubé's playing in a game and goes off. He goes like, he could shoot. He goes off like 6 for 8, 8 for 10. Next game, I said, I'll take Dubé. Guess what? 0 for 10, 0 for 12, whatever it was. Because when you have somebody in your face, when you have somebody denying you the ball, when you have somebody that takes pride in frustrating another player, the guy that thinks he's Mr. Scorer, thinks he's Mr. Basketball, why don't more players enjoy doing that? Growing up, did you play hockey, just hockey? What did you play growing up?
I played a little of everything. I ended up on hockey, but I played basketball until sophomore in high school, I think.
Did you?
Where I called it just going to hockey.
Did you play defense? Be honest.
I was out there.
You were out there.
Yeah. I had to play defense because that couldn't do much. The only thing I was good at was I could shoot if I was wide open.
Right.
That's it.
It was the same with Dubé.
Yeah.
Did you play defense, though? Did you give it everything all the time? Did you try it, or did you just like, you know what? I don't like defense. It's too much effort, and there's really no rewards for it generally. I mean, you can get Defensive Player of the Year like Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And get, how much money do you think Gobert has made over his career?
Quite a bit. A lot. Hundreds?
Let's say hundreds. Let's say 100 million. I tell this to people all the time. That's really about 60 million after tax. And you got to buy a car, got to buy a house. Everything costs money. Save, invest, flaunt. After 12 years in the league, $60 million, that's like $6 million a year. Can you make that last? That's the big question. But I just like that they hang their team on defense, or hang their hat on defense. And they spread the ball around. They have, you can say, well, part of the reason why is they don't have any, and I'm just guessing. I haven't taken a deep dive into the women's roster. They don't have any McDonald's All-Americans, Burger King All-Americans, Wendy's All-Americans. There won't be as many Wendy's All-Americans anymore. Do you see they're closing Wendy's all over the place? Because when it gets that square hamburger throws people off, I guess. Five Guys All-Americans, Culver's All-Americans. They get, and they might, once your program gets to a level where it's winning a lot and it becomes high profile, then you do attract those players. Now, if you had somebody from the South, particularly the South, but anywhere, southern part of the United States, that's where they were.
Yeah, the Waffle House All-Americans, yeah.
Yeah, Waffle. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Like that. Thank you. Well, let me give you you bring a Waffle House All-American up here this past weekend during the weather. Good luck getting them to sign up. You know what they say? I think I'd rather play defense down at LSU. I appreciate the offer. Appreciate your interest. I'm humbled and lovable, but I don't want to go to that's probably that. I mean, if you you probably canceled the recruiting visit because they couldn't get into town because of weather. But if they could, you should have just called them before. And whatever team you are in Minnesota, just called, said, hey, something came up. I've got socks to sort. I'm going to watch paint dry. And they're delivering a boiling hot vat of asphalt to the athletic department at the Bierman building. And I got to be there for that. So don't come up because that will just turn everybody off.
I always love that one.
Speaking of Williams Arena, so Saturday night, I'm a homebody. What did you do Saturday night? Or wait, did you stay home because of the weather?
I went to the Wild game.
See, look at you.
And then...
rain, snow, sleet, gloom, and night.
Didn't matter.
You were there.
That's right. But that was at 5, so when I got there, it wasn't snowing yet.
Okay.
Drive home was a little treacherous, but that's what I was doing Saturday night.
What do you generally do if there's not a game? Do you go out on are you a homebody? See, I'm a homebody.
Those days are long gone of me going out to the bar.
Yeah.
No interest at all.
Yeah. So I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
So I've read every news story there is to read 13, 14 times over. I've completed my games. Like, do you subscribe to The Athletic?
I do.
Do you do Connections?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? It's a game. You can find it. Have you ever seen it?
No.
What's called Connections?
It's going to change my life.
Well, it has 16 circles with a word in it. And then you have to match 4, 4, 4, and 4. All have something to, like, for instance, they might say,
it's just on their app?
Yeah, this would be too easy, but it'd be like Avalanche, Wild, Stars. Give me another team. Jets, they're in our division,
Jets,
right?
yes.
And Jets. And you would match all those, and those would be connected. And then the answer would be, what's our conference? Are we the Campbell
Central.
Conference? Central Division. All the Central Division, you put those together. So I've done my connections. I've done everything already. I've done the crossword puzzle, the whole thing. So I decide,
I don't know how to find that.
Hey, women's or the girls' Class 4A championship game is on, live from Williams Arena. I turn it on. I hear somebody doing the play-by-play. And at first I recognized the voice, but I wasn't sure who it was. Deuce and I looked at each other at the same time and said, that's JG. JG was doing the girl, and I think he did all 4 championship games along with Leah B. Olson. He did a really good job. That's the first time I've heard him do a play-by-play. I know he does the women's University of Minnesota, just never had paint,
socks,
asphalt,
yes.
Right? But he does a really good job. And I texted him, and I said...
Are you only saying that because he's listening in the score right now? Is he?
I don't know. I said, nice job on the 45. He never got back to me.
Oh.
So the next day I said, I'm just trying to keep the lines of communication open. Then he said, hey, thanks. And he goes, and I was thinking of you when I was doing a game, because he had to do 4 of them. He said, I remember you talking about the days in Wyoming when I would do state high school basketball tournaments, and I would do, I got 4 teams at state or 3. And then I would always pick up a floater, some other town that had a radio station, didn't want to send somebody, go, as long as you're there, we'll pay you $25 a game if you'll do them. Sure, why not? Extra money, right? I did all sorts of games. But, yeah, so.
That was not the KQDI station.
Yeah.
That was different.
No, that was KQDI.
Oh, okay.
No, that was different. Do you want to do that?
I mean, got a couple minutes.
You got to cut it out, though.
Yeah, that's fine. You want to do it?
Well, let's do the bit. Our radio station was KQDI, and you always close. The last thing that's back in the old days, anyways, or as a disc jockey, the last thing you would ever say, first thing out of your mouth and last thing out of your mouth, would be the call letters of the radio station. So let's go ahead and do it.
Wait, no. It's this one.
How much time we got?
It's got like 2 minutes.
Ooh, boy. Just something I prepared 2 hours and 58 minutes. Didn't have an extra 2. So no, JG did a really nice job. I thought he did quite well.
Getting fit for your new wedges? When's that happening?
Thursday afternoon when I get off the air. I'm headed over. I'm going to get the S259s, and I'm going to start playing the I-540 irons. It looks like, so I'm going to go get the components are in. It was just last week that you can get fit for them. It's been top secret stuff. They've been working on it in their laboratory. Yeah. I don't understand that text message. That's a different story. Anyway. Yeah, so on Thursday, that'll be the first day of the rest of my golfing life. We'll be playing again soon, my friend. It won't be long. I mean, it's going to be a while yet.
Snow should melt like Wednesday.
No,
it should be gone.
Are you out of your mind?
I think so.
There's 4 feet of it out there. That snow won't be gone. Then the courses are going to be all sloppy and stuff. We won't be sticking a tee in the ground for at least a week, if not 2. But then we will. It will happen. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, great job today.
You'll be back tomorrow?
See you tomorrow.
We're in at noon, right? Because there is no...
Yes, I believe that's the case.
I think it's all lower. I don't think there's an Eco Medbed show. So we're here at 12 noon. Rosen out tomorrow. And then we're back in action on Wednesday. Stick around. Big Ticket JG. They're next right here on The Fan.
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.